Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everyone. Well, you guys might be staring at the screen and be thinking, okay, job application process, 5 steps. Well, I'm sorry. I have bad news for you. I'm not here to share how you guys are going to be getting portfolio tips or how to do an interview. What I am going to share with you, I actually don't believe in this whole process. So I'm going to share with you my process of how to stand out, how to get a job. I assume everyone here is looking for a job. So by the way, congratulations on finishing the program. This is where the real life begins. So, but you guys know what it could be. Like you'll be in like a 5-step interview process, and maybe by the 3rd time you get rejected, and you have to go back in line and compete with everyone else that's going for the same role, and you get rejected again and again. But maybe there could be an alternative path, and hopefully that's something I want to share with you that lands and it'll inspire you. So who am I to give you this type of advice? I'm Josh. I am a UX designer and a web designer. I run a company called The Digital Third. I've done some branding and I also run some online design competitions called The Arena. I've also worked for a startup called Reloom. If you guys are in the Webflow space, you might have heard of them. They're now an AI-generated website. You can literally build your website in less than an hour, which is pretty crazy. So I did some live stream content for them. And then shortly after, I worked at Webflow as well, doing live stream content, educational content as well. And then with my company, I create content. If you guys want to check out The Digital Third on YouTube, you can see all these interviews, podcasts. And on the right here, I just recently hosted an event with Chris Do. Hands up, who were the ones that showed up there? Kirsty was there, and then a few. Oh, yeah, awesome, the lucky ones. It was a good time. Who doesn't know Chris Do? Show of hands. Okay, everyone else does. Okay, great. If you guys don't know, he's like the guy. Like when it comes to personal branding, like the Tony Robbins, he'll bring in a little bit like therapy session, and it's really, really good. So I also run and host The Arena. It is a design competition. It's kind of like Iron Chef for designers. So you see in the top there, we have 2 teams, 2 versus 2, going head to head. They have half an hour to design a website. It's like entertainment, education, all in one, really, really great. And the side views there, they're just highlight reels. So enough about me. Let's talk about you guys. So there you are. And I want to talk about your sphere of influence. Now, when you're going out there, you want to reach opportunities. They could be a freelance gig, maybe a job at your dream agency, or you want to be an influencer, you want to get brand deals, or you want to be a public speaker, or maybe you want to land a dream collaboration. Well, right now, inside your sphere of influence, maybe all you have right now is designing your uncle's website. And that's okay, that's all right. You got to start somewhere, right? So whether it's friends or family, that's where you're at. But you guys obviously want to expand your sphere to aim for higher goals. And so this is what I call the growth gap. And naturally, when we try to claim to be more than who you actually are, like maybe adding a little bit more to your resume, you create this false identity and it feeds your ego. And so that's kind of the gap that we want to overcome, is this imposter syndrome. Everyone's experienced it, or you will. And if you hold on to it long enough, it's going to lead to self-doubt and a fear of being caught. So if we reframe this imposter syndrome, I think it's an indicator of growth. And so it could be good news. And just like we've all seen this diagram where in public, the iceberg, that's the visual stuff. The public side, you want to show all your really pretty side on social media and things like that. But then there's the private work, the work that no one sees, and that's where we want to focus on to then expand into our larger sphere of influence. All right, so let's break it down. As you grow in each level, you'll then land and hit your opportunities. And so I want to break down 3 pillars: confidence, community, and content. And hopefully it'll help you close the growth gap. So confidence. All right, So the best way to kill imposter syndrome is one skill at a time. So developing new skills, by you doing that and you build competency, it will then build more confidence and assist this cycle. And so I encourage you guys, just do hard work. It really changes you. So this is me right there, literally at 4 o'clock this morning, finishing this deck. Difficulty, I just want to share with you guys, is a moat. If you guys haven't heard of that term, a defensive moat for businesses, they want to set themselves apart so other people don't take over them. And so difficulty doing hard things is definitely one. And you can definitely see that in Apple's recent new commercial here. They have tactile branding now. So in the age of AI, where everything's generated, they actually use real glass material, and so there's no digital rendering. And so you might want to take a look at what they're doing, because they always set the trend. And so they value human art over AI. And so this is something that I think is going to be very valuable in the future, especially as AI grows. Okay, next step into building your confidence is take dumb action. What do I mean by that? Well, you guys know, smart people, they take too long to do something. So we overthink, and so perfectionism kills progress. So just don't be smart, be dumb, and just get in action. Success loves speed. When you're learning to ride a bike, you don't learn from a manual, you just go and do it, right? So just do less learning, enough learning, you've done enough, you finished the program. Now it's time for you guys to start doing. And get messy, and you gotta learn to fail until you win. So when you guys take action, there are two outcomes. You either win or you fail, right? Wrong. You win or you learn. And it's so important that you reframe failure. Your relationship to failure is really going to determine how successful you are in the future. So I have a picture of this guy in the gym. And actually, when you build muscle, you actually push your muscle to failure. So each time you fail, just remember this picture that you're actually growing your skills, you're developing your creative muscles. And so experience is simply action plus reflection. So you just keep doing action. If you fail, you reflect on it, you learn from it, get feedback, and then you'll gain experience over time. All right, next pillar is community. This one is going to be a big difference. Recently, Simon Sinek, he's coming out with like new topic now, and he's talking about like friendships and community. And his definition is people who agree to grow together. And I really love that, because you can do things on your own, but it's just so much better when you're in a community. It accelerates your growth. You have accountability, you have support. When you're feeling down, you have that buddy to check up on you. And so community is a force multiplier. If confidence is definitely the core pillar, this is where you start to grow, you start to get gigs from other people, from other friends. Maybe when you guys graduate now, you want to stay in touch or you want to get involved with other communities. This is me. People is a function of their environment. And so this is me going to Figma conference. I was super fortunate this year to meet, like, everyone's there. So all the big like design influencers, if you guys know, that's Matthew Encina on the left, Jesse Showalter is on the left, on the very, very left. And then we have Xander Whitehurst. I don't know if you guys seen like Super Fast. I don't know, he does all these videos. Yeah, so that's the guy. These are the Reloom guys. Tommy Gioco, he's up and coming. He's making these mini docu-series. It's kind of like A24 style. Really amazing. He's gonna be blowing up. If you guys don't know his name now, you'll probably recognize it next year. And then, I don't know if you guys, who knows Grace Ling from Design Buddies? Yeah, she's wild, she's crazy. So I was able to be in the room with them. And so just changing your social environment too really raises your level of expertise. So my next tip is get into the right rooms, whether it's a Zoom community or like a mastermind, or you're going to San Francisco, you're going to Silicon Valley. Proximity equals power. And so you guys have heard it, your network is your net worth. And so that's really, really true. If you don't want to go all the way to Silicon Valley, you guys, I know we're all starting in Vancouver, just go online. There's Design Buddies on Discord, or Iterate UX is a great program as well. It's free. You can do gigs on Contra, or just join Slack communities, or if you want to check out Digital Third, I think that'd be really cool. Meetups as well, really, really awesome. I heard you guys are doing some hackathons, so that's great. So I want to share a story of how I got here. I actually met John 7 years ago. I was a civil engineer 7 years ago, and I switched careers. And I think some of you guys are in a similar situation where you have a previous degree. So I knew nothing about design. So I did freelancing for the first 4 years, just locally, getting local gigs here in Vancouver. And then I never signed up for a Twitter account. So my buddies just said, just get on it. The Twitter design community is like really, really popular. So I'm like, okay, I checked it out. Knew nothing about it. Within the same year, I DM'd Reloom, that's their logo. They're that Australian startup. And I just DM'd them, they're looking for a product designer. And I was doing some content, live streaming, and I proposed to them, hey, maybe I could, create some cool stuff. And I had this idea to do like a design competition. And so they believed in me. And so this is a highlight reel. So it's 1 versus 1, again, half an hour. They designed a website in Figma. And this clip went viral, over 10 million views on TikTok. And then it got the attention of Alexis Ohanian. That's the dude besides Serena Williams. And I was like, what the heck is going on? It's crazy. So in just a span of 2 years, getting involved in a global community versus a local community, a lot of this stuff happened. And so another example is Christo. I went fishing with him 2 years now. The first year was last year. The money bags, I didn't make money. I actually invested. So these are money I'm like spending. But I'm just telling you, sometimes you need to, if you have the money, you can buy to get into the rooms. And so Chris, he went out, this is just outside, flew off out of Vancouver to Bella Bella, and we went on a 5-day fishing trip with 19 other creatives. And to have 5 dedicated days with, like, he's a genius about design, business, and everything. It was just such a luxury to really gain knowledge from him. And I was creating content, so I just had the courage to ask him for an interview. So that's me at the top. And then the second year, which was this summer, he said, I don't know if you can read it, but he messaged me on LinkedIn and said, you want to host a fireside after the trip? And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, here we go. So I went from not knowing him last year to now sharing a whole stage with him. And so it's just really amazing what you can do when you get in action and you get in the right rooms. Oh, and the 3 bags is, yeah, I lost a lot of money. It's an investment. It's an investment. Okay, last is content. All right, I hope you know this by now, but your content is your new resume. Put everything up online, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, just find a platform and just share like crazy. These are 2 of my favorite designers right now that I'm following. I mean, it's going really quick, but like the stuff they put out, they're posting literally almost every day. It's insane. And so they're getting gigs like crazy. The guy on the left, Kyle Anthony Miller, he's in New York. And then we have, what's his name? Alex. Alex, he's in London, and he does amazing logo design. Also other content creators, design content creators that you guys can check out. Femke on the left. There's Tommy again, like I mentioned before. These are just all shorts. We got Rachel Howe from Malaysia. I'm from Singapore, so shout out to Southeast Asia. And then there is Rad Nolan. He is building, he started creating content to just build in public. So I encourage you guys, look into this. The more you share, the better you get. And so again, people are looking into this. One example is, so the graphic here, this is my intro for the Digital Third for my YouTube. And then Felixander Yuan, he's the genius. He's from Indonesia, Jakarta. He put this together, and then he posted on Twitter just a BTS. And out of this post, he got more clients because they were just impressed in like his thought process and everything. So don't just keep it all in your resume. Put it out on socials. Okay, people want to work with someone they know, like, and trust. I'm sure you guys have all heard of this. Know it's awareness, and that's when you put out your content, people know you. If they like you, it's your personality. You got to develop that, and your voice, and your sense of style. And trust is all about skill. So like we talked about in the first pillar, develop that competency. So if you can find people who know, like, and trust you, and you put it out on the internet. That's good. So coming back to this, instead of going through a multi-step interview process and you might not make it, as they go, like usually the first interview is it's a screening interview. They just want to get to know you, like you're not a crazy person. And then eventually, after a series of more interviews, they like you, and then trust, which is more your competency, right? So this is the natural process of the interview. But what if we did this on social media? What if you put out multiple reels and then people got to know, like, and trust you? So by the time they reach out to you, or if you're freelancing, or even companies, they have already consumed your content. There are managers out there. They're like, oh yeah, this guy is like doing really interesting things. Immediately, you kind of skip all the process, and that's kind of what happened to me when I went to Webflow. I was already creating content with Realoom, and they already knew my stuff. And the community manager just said, hey, we want to hire you. All you got to do is just follow. I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to make this public, but that he just like followed through the formal process, but you basically got the job. And so that's one great way to bypass the traditional interviewing process, which again, I hate. It's brutal. So the last point for building your content is be bold and be the real you. The algorithm, they favor hot takes, right? They want to turn you into a very exaggerated person or your false self. So fight the urge and be responsible, like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. And I just added some notes here because I was running out of time. But just coming back to this picture again, the outer circle, the content, you want to make sure that you are developing your inner character first so that you can withhold the capacity. Because once you start putting out an image of, I'm so great, or I can do this and all that, like this leads to burnout if you're overextending yourself. And so your internal capacity doesn't allow you to handle larger opportunities. So then you have to maintain this front or reputation of this polished version. So make sure you develop the private side, the foundation, and when you eventually grow to build out content, you are a consistent person. This is an example of me. I was able to grow up there, but my dream collab was beyond my scope. So when I did the event with Chris, I was like burnt out after. But you know what? It's okay. Sometimes we make mistakes, right? You fail, you learn, and sometimes you gotta just stretch yourself. All right, I'll end off with this. As a creative, there are 2 rewards. And this was a quote from Colin and Samir. If you guys watch their YouTube channel, I have a buddy. So Tommy Giolco, he did behind the scenes with him. And he said, 2 rewards that you get as a creative. The first one is the process itself. You get a lot of energy and you get fulfillment just by creating and completing the work. And then the second reward is the outcome. You get the praise from people DM you, maybe you get deals or sponsorships and things like that. And that's really good to have. But the thing is, you can't have a sustainable career if you don't have reward number 1. So focus always on the input, the process, and then you can never control the outcome, but when it happens, just be grateful that it happens. So, just want to encourage you guys, build confidence, find community, create content. Let's get it. Thank you.